Yeah. Hello, Sam. Hi. And Dr. Body. Right? Actually, it's you, Graham.
Patty, call me Patty.
Nice to meet you too, Brittany.
It's a sunny day today.
Nice to you too, eh?
Well, I have a tip. If anybody would like to just turn off their WhatsApp, if you have it running on your computer, we're going to get started for today. Rotary Club of Global Impact. It tends to be a memory hog. May suck up a lot of bandwidth. What's going on, Isti? Quanta, good to see you, Quanta.
I can see you, Esther.
Hey, is that good?
Yes, how are you?
I'm in trouble with my Chrome for the last 2 days. I had some trouble yesterday as well. If you remember, Marty, I had to go back out like multiple times and come in.
Yeah, it is possible sometimes that that's happening.
No worries. It's all good.
It's
I'm
very,
just getting it fixed.
It's
very-
summertime. Chrome needs a vacation.
Yeah, that's kind
No,
of
no, no.
true. Well, I've got everybody live on StreamYard today. I'm Marty Mangello. Thank you for joining us again. Just going to have another quick wrap-up meeting here and make sure everything is technically running correct. It is, so that's good. We have over on the StreamYard side, Ana Emanuel from down in Argentina was just saying hello. So great to see you back over here on the Google Meet side because we're running 2 platforms simultaneously. Good to see everybody. We're going to get started today rather quickly with Patty, our guest speaker, because we have a lot of ground to cover with Rotary. And I need to actually bring some stuff up to showcase for everybody with orientation. So let me just open up old business. We'll take care of some old business real quick. The current balance in the Bank of America account is $3,737.92. We pretty much finished today with any problems that we're having as far as members who were struggling or challenged to pay digitally because they live in different countries. And maybe that was a problem. Certainly several people over a 2-week period were going to rip their hair out. We've also been sending those reports to a automated system. I'm going to send just a final one today as an update. It essentially, if you've noticed that, it's leaders, our Kagi leadership. It's on an Omnicross server. And what that does is sends it out to every single leader on a robot. So that's how we're doing that. If you reply to that Kagi leadership and you're in the leadership group, it's going to go on ahead and auto distribute whatever you say to every single person, every single leader. It goes through the robot and does that. And that has been working really well. We also, old business got updated today. Patty and I, we got updated in Google Meet, every single address out of the leadership and out of members. And so we're probably going to go back through anyone for old business. It's always our policy. If you don't pay your dues and you're removed from the club, we can always reinstate you later. But when we go back in to reinstate you, it does ask like, hey, this person didn't pay for May and June, so they need to pay for those. Otherwise, they can't come back in. Also, we had one member mention to us, they went to join another club and their dues came up from this club, that they still owed money from this club. That is true. That's going to happen worldwide. You won't be able, just like Nico said, Governor Nico Iannelli, you won't be able to join any other club anywhere on earth. It'll keep popping up. You have a previous club from 16 years ago that you were a member of in Detroit. You still owe your dues from that year. And it's quite shocking and disheartening. So hopefully everybody's good with that. Blessed thrice. And just know that Rotary is very strict with their rules. I don't know all these rules, but when Governor Iannelli or Governor Shandan comes on and reminds us of them, it's like, okay, I never knew that, but that's pretty strict. So, Patty, any comment on all the things we got caught up with membership today? We're ready to go for the new year.
Yes, and the final numbers are looking great. We have 31 members that are active and able to pay. And again, if anybody, had a little hold up, it's okay because you're a guest and you're still welcome in the Rotary Friends group and see what's going on. And we always share everything we do on our website. Besides, you're able to join live. So we were very pleased with our members, and also we're wrapping up the voting for the last version of the bylaws, version 9. I did send out in the members only group, so you don't have to worry about getting spammed on the on the friends group. But if you could be mindful and go ahead and click that link and go to the polls and just yes, no, or abstain. If there's any issues, there's technical issues sometimes along the way. So definitely reach out to me and I will help you in any shape, way, or form possible. And that's it. And the bylaws was really just in referring to that we all agree 40 hours of community service per year per member. And that was really what we're voting on. That was the new version. Back to you, Marty.
Yeah, thank you, Secretary Patty Freudenberg. Istiak has a question. Istiak?
Yeah, so I'm having some trouble getting into the Slack group to cast my vote. It's a yes, but I'm just I'm having some technical issues with this. And if there's a way that can be done, that'd be great.
I'm going to create another link. I'm going to create another link that might be a little bit more user friendly, because again, just to make it easier. So thank you for noting that, and I'll definitely circle back today.
You're gonna
same for me. Issues going, but it's a yes for me too.
Patty, were you gonna do that in Google Forms? Is that your?
Yes, I'm going to transfer it to Google Forms. I think it might be easier. So again, we are a new club, and as a secretary, I took initiative to create a Slack, thinking that it might be a little easier to, all have that one platform to share and exchange documents. But Slack is not so user-friendly, we've come to realize. So we're just going back to less is more. And I'm going to go back to the Google Forms. Yeah, so thanks again, everybody, for being patient with that.
That's true. I want to throw it over to our president-elect. She's going to be taking control of the club, Dr. Pauline.
I'm taking control of Martin. Sorry, what am I taking control of?
The whole club. Any input today while I'm eating an orange?
Well, I've been very busy working on a project which I think combines with Rotary, which is the G100 mission to engage men and women across the world in authentic harmony, which is something we need to ensure that we have within our club. So open communication and harmony. And in fact, I invited Vincent to get in touch with my Canadian chair. So as we grow this and the advisory committees, I'll share more with the Rotary. I'm just at the beginning of it. But also just as a point of, I'm actually going to England on July the 17th for a month. So I'll still be around, but I'll be on a different time zone.
Okay, well, cool.
I'm going to see my family.
That's the day of our big winery event at Verone Vineyard. So,
okay, And maybe I can get in touch with you, Desiree, on the same time zone. That would be good.
Yeah. Yeah. Be
That'll be
totally.
wonderful. Thank you. I can't wait.
And Samuel. You got to meet up with Samuel.
Oh, I'm going to.
Oh, yes.
So I've been talking to Samuel about education because the work that I'm doing with the G100 is heading me towards Africa and empowering and educating women and girls, as well as understanding what men are doing there. So I think the whole mission to raise the education level of girls and boys is a very important one that I really like. And what I like about Samuel is that his daughter, who's 16, is writing the stories that the 6-year-olds are reading. I think that's really cool. Yeah.
Yeah. She's so cool. We have so much in common, him being military and yeah. So I'm sorry, Pauline, go ahead.
There's a lot going on, but it's all raising the level of not just literacy, but really empowerment of women and girls everywhere, along with you wise men in joint custody. That's my mission.
Absolutely. Yo, Britt, go ahead. Have at it.
Oh, no, thank you, Marty. And Dr. Pauline, that's just fabulous. I think, anytime I hear somebody empowering women, especially the next generation of women, my heart chakra, it's so needed and necessary. And I actually, I don't know if it's appropriate or not, but I received a call yesterday from a friend of mine who's sitting in California, and she's launching a foundation, and she's focused on education. And she asked me to come on potentially as the executive director, chief development officer, and help her grow the foundation and the mission and some of the programs. So and she does actually work in Uganda. So
wow.
There's a synergy or alignment there. Yeah, I would be happy to connect you and then share any insight. I haven't accepted anything yet, so I'm still iterating through it, but I would love to support. And Marty, the situation we were discussing the other day, one of my advisors is going to be able to help out with that. So I will link with you and find that email. Yeah, so it's fantastic, right? Fantastic.
That's awesome.
So I will get to that, and when I get through the day, I'll make sure that I try to find that email and get that taken care of.
If anything, with a letter of reference, I always tell people just write the letter of reference and send it to me. I'll just copy it and put it onto our letterhead,
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. Also, old business. I received a letter from Bob Otter this morning at Citizen Aid on the $25,000 of medical kits, which are in customs. They made it to Poland. Warsaw, Poland is completely overrun, and they're there at FedEx, so that's good. Everything is safe. So it was a long journey from Ohio to Michigan. Then if you follow the journey on FedEx, they sent it over to Parsippany, New Jersey, where a couple of days later it's flown across the ocean, actually landed in Belgium as an update to everybody. Where the $25,000 in medical kits is. It's kind of like following Waldo around the world, the $25,000 in medical kits for Ukraine. So then from Belgium, it was actually driven in a truck to Cologne. And I didn't know this, but every time something like that happens, where a FedEx truck is not like its own country driving across countries, so it went to Cologne, and then it went to Warsaw, Poland, finally, where it's at now. So that's confirmed. But all that customs stuff is very touchy, sticky. Every country you drive through, I didn't think of this because it's like, oh, here in America, Canada, and Mexico, we'll just drive up and down anywhere we feel like, okay? But in Europe, you're going across numerous borders and creating numerous customs issues where everything needs to be inspected. So we think maybe today we're going to have great news, and this week photographs. Piotr Jankowski, the district governor-elect there in Warsaw, Poland, he has told me on the phone, I talked with him again, Marty, we're actually driving, it's going to be hand to hand in small villages with photos. We're not driving your stuff or trucks and dropping it off somewhere at a regional center. That's not what we're doing. So it's hand to hand. So that's kind of an old business update on where is all of the cash and money with the $25,000 in medical kits that we purchased and shipped overseas. Any other old business, anybody? Y'all are good. Okay. Anybody for new business, new items you want to bring up?
I mean, I'm going to leave the good news for you, Marty.
Well, Sam's got Brittany, thank you for popping
With
in.
India. Africa. I mean, we're
Yeah,
collaborating.
Yeah,
We're doing a lot of talking to a lot of other of the, Rotary clubs, and it's just beautiful to see the conversations and the dialogue and the ideas. And we created, additional WhatsApp groups with the water and so again, nothing written in stone, but the lines of communication are flowing, part of the fun. So I'm glad about that.
I'll throw it over to Sam then.
Yeah. Hi everyone. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We got you.
Oh, lovely. In the first place, I know about the Rotary Club in Cambridge when I went there to study, and I saw the map, the draw for Cambridge and stuff. I tried to join this particular forum for me to actually understand how we can, like, being part of the club has been a motive from my side, but due to one or two challenges while I was back in the UK due to the COVID stuff and that, so everything was like standing still. And now I'm back in Africa, in Sierra Leone, home, to implement some stuff on this infant mortality rates, which is one of the key issues affecting my country. The club is here in Bo. The Rotary Club is here in Bo. That is the southern part of Sierra Leone. But it's hard to understand the operation of what is really happening here towards the club. And I was listening to Dr. Pauline talking about women empowerment. That's a great one. I've been working for a charity in the UK here in Sierra Leone, which is Tree Top Charity Foundation. You can Google that. You will see me there, Sam, at Sam Foundation. I was the project. I was in charge of all projects in Sierra Leone, and this charity took me to UK to study just to enhance my understanding, And there are things really affecting my community, my country, which is the infant mortality rate. And this is affecting children and moreover women, And there are certain things I'm building up to see how we can minimize that. And there are a lot of child abuse, more for girl child, and teenage pregnancy. Children are forced to marriage, the girl children. And I will be happy if, like Dr. Pauline, what you just mentioned, if there is a way for you to extend your operations in this part of the country, in this part of the world, you can go with some of these problems. You will see them on social media. What I'm discussing, it's really horrible. It's sad. Coming back from the UK, when I came and see some of these horrible things, I see that but there is no way to help at the moment. I'm really looking forward to see how I can communicate with. If you have an email for you to share it with me, and we can discuss more about that, or anybody that will look forward to see how they can participate into things like this that is affecting girl children in this part of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a lot of Rotary clubs in Sierra Leone. We have a very nice family. I just put one of the most recent updates from Sierra Leone with what Rotary's doing there in the chat, Sam. So if you want to click on that in the chat, what'll happen is it'll bring up a separate tab that you can read later. And this way you don't lose, because what happens is when these meetings end, you lose all of the links that were in the chat and you lose everything. But this was a recent, Yeah, click on it now. This was a recent $142,000 grant that was given to propel the Chieftain to grow its future. That's from Rotary District 6380. So I want to get you this information, particularly in Freetown and all across Sierra Leone, to where you're able to access it after the meeting. And if you're there at the new Brooksfield Hotel on Jomo Kenyatta Road in Freetown, you can go over to the meetings, and we work with other clubs all over the world. So this is what we do, and I have two announcements today as part of new business. There is actually the Rotary Club of Freetown also. If you'd like to click on that, you'll have that link later. I also want to provide for you the Rotary Club of Bo in Sierra Leone. And sometimes you go to one club and you don't like it. You don't really get along with the people. It's not good. So what we recommend is in Rotary, actually, whether you speak Portuguese, French, or English, there's also Rotary District 9101 for Western Africa. And I'm going to give you the whole list here of Goderich, Kabbalah, all the different ones, because if you can find one that you like, that you do enjoy the people, whatever you're looking for in life. Some people want a little bit younger membership. Some people want a bit older membership. Some people want to meet online. Some people don't like the luncheon. They prefer the breakfast club. We have here even dinner clubs. They only meet at dinner. And I sent them over to the regular club in Gastonia or Shelby, and they told me, Marty, I didn't like it. I don't want to go to a dumb country club and have lunch with anybody. I was like, all right, we'll go to like these other 2-3. And then they contacted me later and said, Sam, they did enjoy themselves. They found a club that felt like home. So that's going to be your next step, is check out all these clubs I sent you.
Okay,
Because
I'll just copy the link. Thanks so much for sharing.
they're doing hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars in Sierra Leone. And if you find one that's good that you're happy with, we can start working with them. Okay. So that's going to be your first step towards success. Also there, like, let's say you want to do something on a $400,000 project. We actually need the club there. We have to have the club there and have their partnership and their friendship. Welcome, Peter. How are you? Good to see you. Yeah. So
But is it possible? Because Bo is not at home. I'm from the eastern part, which is Kono district. I'm just here on a program. So I was passing by, then I saw the signboard Rotary Club. So I tried to know, but like my busy stuff here, can give me chance. But I find out that Rotary Club is not in the eastern part, maybe like Kono district. But is it possible if I want to create the club in Kono district?
you can, yeah. You'll decide and you'll talk with one of the districts there, or you could just join our club and you can operate anywhere you feel like worldwide. So we would encourage you to join our club. We're $15 per month or $3.75 USD per week. And we're the lowest price club in the world. So the other, and we've been looking forward to talking with you. We may need to we'd like to add you, Sam, to our Friends of Rotary group on WhatsApp. Are you on WhatsApp?
Yeah, sure. I'm on WhatsApp.
We'd like to add you into our Friends of Rotary group. Yeah. Okay. So welcome, Nico. How are you doing today? Nico's doing good. Peter, are you over in Shelby today? Peter's one of our assistant governors out here, guys. He lives literally 10 miles away. Nico, did you remember to bring your gift home? He may going to be he's going to try his earpiece. Okay. We gave Nico that big bow and arrow set. So the other thing for new business today, we have Noida Group of India has requested that we partner with them to gather advice to create a 24-hour free food bank. They really like our food bank that we're running and the little free library. So we've been talking with them for quite a while. We're moving ahead with that. We're going to have another phone call with their president today and helping them. They're going to start building and constructing with our advice and guidance. And so that's really exciting out of India. Another request that I got on Friday night was for Zambia. It actually came from the Gastonia Club, Laurel Morris. She said, we really don't have a lot of experience overseas, Marty, in doing projects. And we're wondering who you know in Africa. And we know so many people, it's silly. So we've got her cranking on a private project right now in a WhatsApp group with our water goddess, which is Dali Parikh. And Dali is last in Istanbul. She was in Greece, but she's in Istanbul right now. So we're going to move ahead on the water project and helping Gastonia Club to do water in Zambia. And I'm not really sure what it's all about, guys. Any comments? It might be a borehole, it might be a well, it might be sanitation. I'm ready for anything, so it's totally cool.
And I just want to circle back with Sam and Dr. Pauline and also Brittany. The Rotaracts, I think, will be a perfect bridge as well, because that's for the young, So the Rotaracts are really, now Stormy is our, youth services, and Nico was sharing a lot of the stuff that they are doing here. So the Rotaracts, let's keep that in mind too.
Yeah, absolutely. We're trying to crank up a Rotaract club. We have to go all through the paperwork for that. So anyone else, new business? Okay, without further ado, then I'm going to shift it over to Desiree for 1 minute of love. Desiree Richardson of London.
Hi, everyone. I am super excited and I'm so happy to be here again for another edition of 1 Minute of Love. I always look forward to this day. Welcome to everyone, all of the new members and those who will be joining us now and in the near future. Please allow me to start with one of my favorite lines. I always start at the beginning of every speech is that my one wish for everyone in the world is to be happy and feel inclusive, to live in a world where diversity, love, and kindness can be radiated and felt through their existence and experience. Today, I want to talk about encouraging everyone to continue on this journey with us here at the Rotary Club, to heal the world and to break the ice into better working relationship among all of us as leaders, and to always include diversity, equity, and inclusion in all we do. And for everyone to be in favor of supporting each other from an authentic space in their hearts and sharing more love and admiration towards each other, where there is no envy, but compassion and inspiration to do more. When we come together, we are magical. Let's continue to show a beacon of hope for diversity, inclusion, equality, so that we all can feel regarded and valued. Let's continue to be considerate, patient, and charitable so that we set an excellent example for the future generation where every young child feels saved and protected. We're all human beings and we're so deserving, and each and every one of us deserve a chance to inspire the world. Thank you so much. Put love in all you do. When love wins, the world wins. Thank you. All my love.
Thank you so much, Desiree from London, Vincent from Canada, Sam from Sierra Leone. I just was answering a message from Kono District where Sam is, from a very rich family that owns the largest gold mines there in all of Sierra Leone for a long, long, long time. I would like to offer today's prayer. We always offer a non-denominational prayer. We don't have Mike with us today. He normally takes care of it as our chaplain. but Mike is doing physical therapy, so let's wish him the best. Dear great Rotarian in the sky and universe, we ask that you guide and direct our club, its leaders, and our actions. Grant that each of us may feel a responsibility to Rotary, to our community, to our country, and indeed to all countries and peoples. Bless our fellowship today, and bless any food we may have to the nourishment of our bodies today in your service. Amen. So if you would like more non-denominational prayers, that one was just off of DAC-DB. So they have some great examples there. Before I move into today's guest speaker, I would be remiss if I didn't invite our Assistant Governor, Peter Bagley from Shelby, to say a few words, or our Governor, Nico Ionelli, to say a few words.
Thank you, Marty. It's great to see you all online here this morning, evening, wherever you are, afternoon, middle of the night, I don't know. The Fellowship of Rotary is rich and rewarding. Having traveled the world a fair bit as a child in particular and lived in various parts of Africa, I'm especially touched to see that there's an African connection with this particular club. I have been in Sierra Leone and in Liberia, did an internship in Liberia as a college kid, so my roots go way back in Africa, and I'm glad to hear that there's some water projects going on there. As a child growing up, there were a number of my friends whose families did not have access to clean water. When we traveled to their villages, we wouldn't drink anything that hadn't been boiled, and they would bring us tea. And the tea, you wouldn't really know that the tea was tea because the water was already tea-like in color before it was even boiled. So I am quite familiar with the significance of water projects, water and sanitation, and encourage your club to do all that you can in every way that you can to make the biggest difference that you can in the world for those who are less fortunate than we are. I will be popping in on you from time to time as my schedule allows, and look forward to partnering with you to support you in all that you try to do and accomplish in this year that is ahead. And thank you, and I think I'll be done with that.
Thank you so much, Assistant Governor Peter Bagley. Peter, it's always a joy to see you and your lovely wife. Peter, for those of you who don't know, has dedicated his life to children during this season in his life. He is the President, Executive Director of the Children's Cleveland Homes for Cleveland County here, the Children's Homes. And that, I mean, really is quite a high calling. He moved his whole family, lock, stock, and barrel here from down south. So that is quite a calling, friends. Thank you, Peter, for everything you're doing.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you, Peter.
Peter, do you mind just telling us in a nutshell to share with Sri Lanka, India, London, Canada, all of our people exactly like the children's homes, what that does?
Sure, I'd be happy to do that. We take care of hard-to-place kids who are part of the foster care system. We do adoption services. We have mental health programs that serve not only our kids, but also first responders. Deal a lot with PTSD, so we have clinicians that specialize in trauma therapy. And the program that really was the bait or the bait on the hook that got me to join this agency was a new program for us, which helps kids who have been in foster care their whole lives and have no family supports of any kind, help them transition to independence as adults. So from 18 to 21, and we're looking for ways to provide supportive housing for them beyond 21 to about the age of 28 or 30 to help them with a glide path that enables them to no longer be dependent on the public purse for their support. 9 out of 10 kids that age out of foster care without those kind of transitional programs will be dependent on state-funded resources for the rest of their lives. And their lives will be foreshortened. Here in America, our life expectancy is in the mid-70s, but for a kid that grew up in foster care that ages out of foster care, it's actually only 51 years. So it's quite important that we help these kids make that transition. So that's what we do in a nutshell.
Amazing statistics. I love math. And also thank you to Sean up in British Columbia. I can't remember the last time I had a chance to thank Sean for all he does. I did talk with him this morning to ask him to get his votes in. I'll just throw that in there one more time. He answered the phone immediately when you call. That's so nice. Hello, fellow Rotarian is how he greets people in British Columbia, whether it's investment banking or whatever your interest is, background investigation on a potential client. Very nice to see Sean on the call again. And feel free to avoid our meetings. Don't come to meetings if you don't feel like it. We really don't care. It's not a club about having meetings. We call these gatherings. You could watch this meeting later. You could watch it tonight. You could be in your bathrobe on Friday and watch it. We realize you're going to catch up with us. That's the main focus for the bylaws addition to version number 9 is that 40 hours of guaranteed service per year that everyone agrees to that. We're closing in on that vote with the majority is what we need according to the bylaws. We should wrap that up today if we're lucky. Governor Nico. Governor for 3 more days. Wait, we can't hear you. This is too important. I told Nico, since he only had to deal with us for half a year and it was like the wild, wild west, he's like, why am I getting all this stuff, the big Indian quiver with the bow and arrow? And I was like, well, you know, it's like we're like dealing with the wild, wild west. So we wouldn't.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. We got you now.
Yes, we can. Hello, Nico.
Good morning. Greetings, everybody. I just want to congratulate everybody on being part of the Worldwide Fellowship of Rotary International. You know, we know that Rotary is about fellowship. We learn from each other. We enjoy each other's company. And we're all committed to serving our communities and just delivering an engaging, meaningful experience and becoming a welcome organization for all. So even though I have 2 days left of my governorship, which has truly been a humble honor with it, I'm still a Rotarian, as I've been for the last 15 years, and I will continue to be an advisor for the Global Impact Club. I'm so proud of where we've come and where we're going, and just send love to all. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor Ionelli. Appreciate it so much. Dr. Rodriguez, anything for the Rotary Foundation as chairperson of Rotary Foundation?
I would just say, as you all know, we're a new club, and the foundation is important, Rotary Foundation itself. I encourage everyone, although we started late in the season, to give to the foundation, and you can go directly to or come to our club. But again, we encourage it because there is a system that is in place when you do give to the foundation, and then it comes back to us. So that would be the only encouragement that I have. A little behind the curve on that one as far as giving to the foundation, but we recognize it. And again, if you can give to the foundation, that would be the cue that I would have here. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Mike. So without further ado, I would like to introduce our guest speaker for today. I think everybody knows Patty Freudenberg, owner of Miss You Graham, owner of a very long-running number of different businesses in New York City, not the least of which is her family's very famous hair salon, where you can get the best services in all of New York City. So it's a delight to go over there, not only to get your hair done or coiffed, but also to be entertained, because they are an entertaining family, born entertainers. And some people say Patty speaks a mile a minute when they meet her or they're introducing her. And so that's true. If you ever notice she freezes up, it's because she's speaking so fast, and then it catches up on her microphone and you'll hear her come through real quick. So Patty Freudenberg of New York City, thank you so much for doing our orientation today.
Yes, yes. I'm excited about it because it's great, especially how we're going to end it.
I'm going to
That's
bring
gonna-
bring up a
You know exactly
tab.
what I'm talking about.
I'm going to bring up a tab for you here, Patty.
Okay.
So we can kind of sort of, and I know we're going to get some help from Mike today, longstanding Rotarian when it comes to the foundation portion. So this is kind of really important for everybody. All right, let me share this tab for you, Patty, and then you tell me where you want to go. Doris, how are you? Doing good, doing good. Okay, everybody should be able to see that, okay?
Right.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, let me see if I need to.
And well, of course here, being that it's on orientation, so we're gonna start off with what is Rotary, right? And now with what is Rotary, you might want to just go to about Rotary real quick, and you could see there's just so much. It's like, where do you begin, right? So there you go. You got it. And who we are, and right here it says it right there. Rotary is a global network of 1.4 million communities around the world, and this is where change happens when you could collaborate on a global mission, and wow, and there's such great stuff here. I could go on and on each topic, so I don't want to stay off course, being that it is orientation. But again, when you start to learn about Rotary, you'll learn about the Paul Harris and how it all started. And Rotary International and the Rotary Foundation. Also, we got the certificates, the Learning Center. We got the foundations on ways to go to the tabs, so we could go down all those lists.
Yep, and we got the clubs. Of course, we're a club, right, Patty?
Yep. We got the satellite clubs.
And do we want to tell them where Rotary International headquarters is?
Yes. Right.
Yeah, just in Chicago, we have a huge tower that sits up in the sky. I think it's 40 stories tall. So that's the main.
That's the headquarters. And what's great about the headquarters is that multiple times I called and somebody always answers.
Absolutely.
So that's the really good part. So if you have any questions, this website, Rotary.org, and you could find answers, and you can't find it on there, you can call them and they will guide you through anything that you need. Very helpful, very helpful. They are.
Patty, can we let Mike jump in there since he's the chairperson for the foundation?
Yes,
Mike, the foundation.
So this is great. When we think about the foundation and what we have set up in Rotary, there's a number of ways to give. There really is. And again, how we support the foundation. And as Patty said, if you have questions on how you'd like to give and how you want to interact with the foundation, there's options out there. And again, having this ability to go back and look, and let's say, for example, if you enter into the foundation itself, it has different levels of giving. Just giving $25 to the foundation makes a big difference for a club. I mean, a lot of them, if you want to be part of the global grant program, then there are certain requirements that fall in line for a club to meet those prerequisites. Right, Patty, as we look at, here's an excellent chart, Patty, that you have in front of us. Exactly how the money is used.
And another thing I want to highlight, that all these details are right there in the Learning Center. So the Learning Center really should, again, I don't want to get off course with the foundation, Dr. Mike, but those details that you're talking about specifically, I was able to find in the Learning Center. And it's good for all business. It's not even limited to just the Rotary International or your Rotary Club. These things that you're learning about foundations and how they work, it's really good for business as well. So I just wanted to highlight that too. So go ahead and continue with the foundation. I apologize.
So no, because they go side and side. This website is fabulous. The Learning Center also is a great idea. They have a specific video there entitled for the foundation that you can go to and listen to and participate in and educate yourself. Because as we take these positions on the board, okay, the Learning Center provides us those tools that we can download. In other words, if you have a project and you want to align yourself with the foundation and those pillars, the forms are there. They're all there, every bit of it within the Learning Center. And again, if you're going to promote your project, you have those tools that are all in there. So these are fabulous, but the foundation is the root of Rotary International when it comes to the way of giving and the way we operate. And I think everybody in this room would agree to that.
Absolutely.
What do you think, Patty?
And then we have the different, we have the club foundation, the district foundation, and the Rotary International Foundation.
Yep. So true.
And they each, which is really broken down. Again, Nico, if you want to jump in there to add anything to that, I'll do the foundation.
The district foundation, hit it, Nico.
Yeah, I think Dr. Mike was spot on. So the Rotary Foundation allows us to do all the great work in the grants around the world. I know firsthand, like our district, we gave over $250,000 in global grants for 12 different projects. Right now, we're working on a project in Uganda that shared at the last meeting where we contributed $25,000 of grant money that came back because of giving from our district and the members with it. So by giving to the annual fund through the Rotary Foundation, that's the money that then comes back to the district and to the clubs for the club projects. But like Mike said, the foundation is a part of the good that we're doing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Patty, I think if you don't mind, I'm just going to broad brush over getting involved here because a lot of people have been asking questions like, what are all the different, Rotaract, Interact? We have a lot of members in our club that know nothing about Rotary, 94% of our members. So there's clubs all over the world.
There's also the partnerships too for corporations.
Yeah, and we have this Interact and Rotaract. So Interact is for really young folks, okay? You see here ages 12 to 18. It lets them develop leadership skills and also get involved with service above self. So, that's really what Rotary is all about. If somebody mentions to you, I heard about Interact and how many people are involved in Interact and what is Interact? I don't understand Interact. I thought I was joining Rotary. Why do they keep bringing up Rotaract and Interact? I'm completely lost. This is what Interact is. Interact, you see here, India, United States, Nepal, how to form if you have tips or ideas to do a club for Interact. It's for 12 to 18 years old. And so we can do this. And I'll just jump in there, Patty, and mention Rotaract because we said we're thinking about applying to do a Rotaract club. What is Rotaract? Rotaract is like for younger adults, okay? So you're not in elementary school any longer. You see here it's 18 or older. We're talking about doing this in Africa. We have a lot of young adults in our Africa portion, especially in Ghana with Dr. Wahid Musa. And we have about 200,000 some Rotaractors. So we are Rotarians as adult professionals, but we also have Rotaract and Interact. And many people have been asking, like, what are you talking about, Marty? So you can also form up, and you see here in Sri Lanka, Sunila's on the call today from Sri Lanka. She's our Sri Lanka representative, Sunila Jayasharia. But here, Uganda, we have a member in Uganda, Gloria Natukunda. And also the United States. So just Rotaract, pretty easy. Any questions about Rotaract?
And also, Marty, we did talk about the request over there in Ukraine when we were having those meetings with Ukraine, how they would like to see some youth outreach as well. So, we are talking about that Ukraine relief with a Rotaract as well.
Absolutely. Since this is orientation, Patty, we probably better bring up the causes, and I can just go in here to the overview.
Good idea. So I get really down with our Rotary International and what it stands for. Again, right now, Rotary International is supporting Ukraine relief. We also, are about to eradicate polio. Pretty much only a couple of cases. Is that correct, Marty?
That's right. We're down to like less than 100. We had a couple of wild polio cases appeared out of the middle of nowhere in Afghanistan. We've eradicated polio in India and in Africa. We're trying, and Jennifer Jones on stage told us at dinner, 3 months ago, that by 2023, the scientists and doctors are saying to us now that we are probably going to announce next year polio has ended on Earth.
And that's Rotary International in a nutshell. But getting back to, again, what Rotary is. So now we covered a little bit about foundations. Do you want to go a little bit deeper into the learning center?
Yeah, I think I better mention that these are the 7, because this is a bit confusing. Mike is, he's like, I thought we had 6. I'm like, Mike, yeah, they added that new one. It's 7 causes that we are focused on in Rotary. There's 7. Okay, so just remember the 7. What are the 7? I had an investor meeting this morning. He wants to know if Rotary can help him. I was like, I don't know if it really fits any of the 7 causes that we're supposed to focus on. But these are the 7 causes, guys, right here. So promoting peace, fighting disease, providing clean water, sanitation, and hygiene. All right. Saving mothers and children, supporting education, growing local economies. As part of your orientation, traditionally, you would be sitting with a trainer on a one-to-one meeting. He would typically, or she would meet you in a restaurant and spend an hour going over all of this with you. What are the 7 causes? And there'll be a test at the end of today, so it's a written exam. But Patty mentioned ending polio has been the big one for 30 years. Mike, I think we've spent $2 billion on polio research to date, and we initially got a Kickstarter of $100 million from Rotary. We've handed out $4 billion total, and about $160 million over the past 2 years. If you're interested in our statistics and stats, and also we're carrying about 100 out of 100 on Charity Navigator. We are 4-star ranked, and people ask, well, how much cash do you pocket for your own wallet? I pocket nothing, but Rotary spends like about 7 to 8% on administrative costs and on global grants. And usually you'll see our DAF fund is 1% or less. So that's our statistics. They're pretty darn good, if I was to say. Anything else, anybody on causes? There they are. Patty, I'll throw it back over to you to just talk about programs, and I can go in here anywhere you want.
Well, there are just so many programs. Even if you want to get some master's fellowship, so many programs. But you start off with the Learning Center, and there's a lot in there. Are we in the? We're in the. That's again,
I'm in there. I'm in there in the programs. I'll tell you one I just joined. I got yesterday, Patty, in the mail an apron from Italy. I joined one of the fellowships. It's for Rotarians that are into cooking and gourmet food. And I went into the fellowships. I never knew there's like hundreds of them you can join. So naturally, I joined that one. Mike, anything in here? Patty, anything in here for the programs? How about the youth exchange?
Yes.
The one
Yes.
lady, didn't Nico, the one lady mention her daughter was, or no, it was Cam mentioned his daughter's leaving. Where's she going to go live in Spain?
Yeah, so Cam's daughter, who's in high school, is going to be going to Spain for a youth exchange. So Rotary's been doing youth exchanges for years. Prior to COVID, there was over 9,000 students a year doing exchanges. And the great part is because of just the network of Rotary, it's Rotarians and friends of Rotary that were taking the students and pretty much bringing them in as a member of their family while they do an exchange and complete their studies abroad. And for every student that goes out from the U.S., another student comes in. So, we're unfortunately with COVID, it was on hold, but we have, from our district, we have about 8 students that are going out for a year-long exchange. We have about 8 coming in. I know my club is sponsoring an exchange student from Germany who's going to be with us for the whole year and come visit us at our club and do his studies and as well as meet others across. But it's an absolutely incredible program. So if anybody knows a student in school, usually in the States, usually about 9th and 10th grade is when they're really looking at it. They do have to do their exchange prior to the age of turning 18. But it's been a phenomenal program.
Yeah, my wife was listening to that on Friday night, and she turned to me, Nico. She was like, "What's that all about? The youth exchange?" I was like, "Honey, that's a whole thing in Rotary. They have international exchanges. We could send little Raina to live in any country that she wants, for quite some time. I think it's the year, and we could naturally have the kid come here and stay here also." So she was just floored. Any other comments from India, Manu, about exchange program?
That's amazing.
Youth exchange?
There's also training behind that, correct, Nico?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey,
Which
look.
is good.
Yeah, I mean, there's youth protection training for the host families as well as students. I mean, the students are ambassadors essentially when they're traveling abroad of the country that they're representing, as well as the Rotary clubs that are helping sponsor them.
Absolutely. Mike, would you mind? I notice right there, you're kind of an expert in just for orientation today of new members. Would you mind just talking about grants there? I know a lot of times people are looking for cash in one of 2 ways, either the scholarship money or the grants. Could you talk about those 2, Mike? Okay, Mike might be having a problem with his microphone. Well, let me just tell you, if you are interested in applying for a grant, you have to be a member of a Rotary club to be eligible. So that's kind of step 1 if you come in here and you're interested in either global grants or district grants. So the difference is the global grant, of course, is coming from Rotary International is where we're applying, running 40,000 to 400,000. And maybe I'll kick that over to Nico. He is an expert at global grants. And you'll notice as soon as I clicked on that, it's having me come in here to the big site. Nico, you want to give us an overview on global grants?
Yeah, just an overview. So as Dr. Mike mentioned earlier, so the money that goes to the annual fund at the Rotary Foundation. So that money actually comes back to the district the trailing 3 years. That way it grows. So the contribution that the members from the club give, we can already we'll be able to know on like 25% of that is going to be accessible for the club to provide a local grant for a project in their community. And the other 25% that comes back goes towards the World Fund, towards the global grants. Global grants are sustainable, the larger scale. They start at 30,000 and up. Every grant we're working on right now is $150,000, $200,000 with multiple countries involved. The money comes from the district, from the clubs, from Rotarians, and from outside sources. So the money is contributed there. So that's the big between the district and club grants. So when a club wants to apply for a district grant, if they want to apply for a $5,000 grant, the club needs to come up with $2,500 to be matched by $2,500 from the grant. So that's why they do fundraisers and different things to help raise money towards a project. But as Mike mentioned earlier, the money that the club gives to the foundation, that allows them to have access to it down the road. So the more that the club contributes, the more that you can get matching grants down the road.
Thank you so much, Nico. Mike, anything else to add about grants?
No, and that is the crutch. When we talk about the matching grants and things like that, we have to be participants, and that truly is it. And whether we do fundraisers ourselves or things of that nature, again, we're global. So our members are that drive. So that fundraiser could be wherever, but contributing to the foundation and through the club system itself, I encourage it. And it's encouraged on the website.
And look what's right there again, guys. Remember those 7 areas of focus? So there they are again. And they have a statement on each one, the policy statements regarding the areas of focus. So there they are again, trying to keep people focused. So when we have this call later on today, because we're going to do a virtual reality version of this meeting here at 1 o'clock in VR inside the metaverse, we'll have our metaverse meeting. Again, we'll meet with this particular investor, and we have to keep this person focused on what we are allowed to focus on. So if it doesn't make sense, sometimes we have to say, gosh, we don't think this is a fit. And look at how many documents and PDFs you have here to do a grant, to do a calculator, to do an assessment, the life cycle, like Nico said, the sustainability. There is so much information here. It's crazy.
The other thing, Martin, if I could just spin in real quick, and that is community assessments. There's even a form there when we get into these grants before you even get to the PDF files, the community assessments. What are the community assessments? And they can be around the world, but you still have to do these assessments.
And there you go. Like Patty said, apply for grants. You've got district or global. Okay. And then we have a grant center. These people are very organized. Yeah. So let me head on back to the main site just here for the orientation about what Rotary is, what it's all about, what are we doing. Mike, scholarships. I wanted to ask you to talk about scholarships because I know you're so passionate about scholarships.
Don't get me jumping. Yes. Well, we do offer scholarships, and there is a cutoff point. We have surpassed it. Nico will tell you, I believe it was mid-June. And it's a process that we go through Rotary International, where individuals become part of the review board for those particular scholarships. And if you want to become one of the reviewees, there's a process that we go through in which we then assign you 4 or 5 applications to review. We're all about the International Center of Peace. And in that, I think, Nico, we have like 5 locations, if I'm not mistaken, institutions around the world that we partnered up with.
Are you referring to the Rotary Peace Centers?
Yes.
Yeah, so the Rotary Peace Centers, there's 5 around the world, and so that is for the Peace Fellowship. Which you see is a whole different category. We just went through the application process with our committee. We had 3 folks that applied, and so we're actually endorsing the application for 2, which then goes to Rotary International because it's a global scholarship. They're going to do their vetting. We have about 1,500 alumni that have graduated from the Rotary Peace Centers globally, and these are global ambassadors.
We again, in addition to that, it could be at a master's level, or it can be a certificate program, a certification program at a graduate level.
I think that's one thing, Mike, that has caught people by surprise was they found out that the master's degree program was allowed. They were shocked. They were like, I thought it was just for bachelor only or associate. It's like, no. You can.
Jill Doherty from CNN is a recipient of the Rotary graduate program. Just to name a few names, or a name. But it's all in there. If you look at it, there's cutoffs and how we interact as a club and offer local scholarships also.
Yes.
Again, it's all based on essays. And again, since we are, let's say, in the matrix, somebody how they submit it through our own communities and around the world. But again, there's more information on the site that shows you which ones offer cutoffs and which programs and how they run their scholarship programs itself.
It's just right there under Peace Fellowships. But what I want to double back to, Mike, I was asking you if you would please comment. I've noticed since really joining Rotary last year, a lot of people were coming in and you would always jump on it. They're either looking for money for a grant or money for a scholarship. Hey, buddy, if you wouldn't mind helping me here, I live in Eswatini, Africa. I could use some cash to pay for my college or for my studies. And we always sent them in here to the scholarships. Mike, would you talk a little bit about the scholarship money that's available?
Okay, well, in the scholarship money, again, there's at the local level, which of course, that's within our club system itself. And that process, the essay process, again, that's based on what we have in our own foundation, our own club. And then again, when we look at what Rotary has to offer in its scholarship programs, going to the website itself places you in line of how it works and the process and the cutoff dates. And really, if I was to add more to this, their videos provide tremendous guidance. See, because the district governor, and he knows this, is going to turn to our club as these applicants come alive, and he's going to designate one person, and then in turn that one person sets up a scholarship committee within our own group, and then again we then encourage individuals to apply. And let's keep in mind that the individuals that are asking us, let's say the undergraduates or whatever, they don't necessarily have to be a Rotary member, but let's take in consideration if we have Rotaract and all these other programs going on, or Interact, these are kids that are going to need scholarship. So, me as a reviewer, I would say, well, this person's already interacting with Rotary itself in a community level. And I've had a young individual that started with Rotary at 14, and he just graduated from college this semester. And Rotary paid for his college all the way on through. So there's a stepping stone there, a ladder, as they say, in the form of academia that I love about Rotary. And being able to give at a local level depends on our own club's aggression or how aggressive we are within our own communities.
Absolutely.
$1,000 makes a big difference to a kid.
Absolutely.
Or a young person going to school. Yeah.
Hey, that goes on a resume too, that they got such and such scholarship.
Right.
So just in there, Patty, is all the programs. We've covered quite a few of them. The most popular ones are the Peace Fellowships, the grants, and the scholarships. Patty, how about if we move on to the magazine? I think you mentioned you got the magazine in the mail.
Yes, I have the magazine and it's really beautiful. And you know what? It does highlight there how Jennifer Jones is going to be going across Canada doing a tour. So if you're in any of the regions, look at the dates. She's going from coast to coast, and that's a beautiful thing. But you know what? Global, right? So they also have like photography. They had a photography competition. It was just, you know, all the things you see, all the things that are happening. Also with the Rotaractors, the water wells, everything's in there. It's just really quite magnificent. And you could also pick your region too. If you're specific, you could get, you know, subscribe to all of them. Subscribe to your region. It's quite remarkable, the magazine. I really enjoy it. Very little or to no advertising. You know, it's really good information in there.
That was one thing we wanted to mention to our members, Patty, was
So I love it.
anyone that wants to check in on their print edition, if you would like to receive the print edition in the mail. President Jones mentioned how much she enjoys the print edition in her page one article for this month's magazine. But right there, gang, in the print edition, you see that right there. You can get back issues. Feel free. And if you want to, you can email them at data@rotary.org for anything that you're looking for. I have emailed them and said, hey, would it be okay if I picked up like 60 copies of the magazine? I don't care if they're old ones. I want to be able to hand them out to prospective members at Veronay Vineyard on July 16th during our big club event. And they said, sure, it's no problem. And by the way, Marty, you don't need to pay $1 for each one. Just pay for the shipping. We'll send them to you for free. So I got a huge box for recruitment, which you can already bet you know what Marty's doing. He's putting stickers on them. Contact us at Rotary Club of Global Impact to join. I'm going to be handing them out. That's my goal that day, 60 copies of the magazine. There's no better recruitment tool than getting the magazine and getting a case of them for free in Canada or wherever you live. But check on your subscription. Pauline, did you get your subscription in Las Vegas?
I don't know. No.
Are you getting? Did you get a magazine that looks like that for this month?
No.
So I think you want to. You're getting the digital magazine. You want to write to data@rotary.org or to call them if you would like to get your in-print copy.
I will do.
Yeah, I'm going to put that in here in the chat as part of the orientation today, just for anybody that ever wants to check on your subscription. Okay, and you can look at all types of stuff that's going on. Also, the past 100 years of magazines are on Google Books. If you're looking for anything, how to get your project covered, right here, send a letter to the editor. All good stuff in Rotary Magazine. And Patty, that's the whole news center, news and media. So are you ready to run over to the Learning Center now to showcase?
Yes, for the, exactly.
Okay. One of the biggest ones here, and at this point, guys, when I'm on here, it may force me to sign in because this is not for the general public. This is for paying members. Okay, and I'll let Patty take it away. But Patty, look right there. That all
There's
these.
Also, it really goes from like from A to Z because there's just so much learning. It's just amazing. I don't know, Dr. Mike, if you want to jump in, or Nico, but it really breaks it down from being a club member to being opening a foundation, to being the president, Pauline, to being a secretary. So it's a really great breakdown. But not only that, you actually get a certificate. So it feels good to know, like, you have to actually pass the tests. And some are just smaller, some are a little bigger, depending on the priority of how important the position is that you're learning about. for but what's great is that then you can go ahead and use that for your resumes as well. Again, it's not limited just to Rotary. Yes, it's a learning center for Rotary International, but the things you're learning in that learning center, you could apply to business, to work, to your personal resumes. It's really great stuff. And again, I really like the breakdown. I don't know if you want to open up the tabs.
So Patty, I'm right in there. This is where you'll want to go as a new member. You'll want to go into learning and reference, and that's exactly what Patty was saying. You can learn by role. You can learn by topic. Okay, any way you want, and you know, the one I enjoy the most, you know, if you want to go in there, was the leadership. But let's just say you want to learn by, let's learn by topic. There's hundreds and hundreds of classes. I think the record holder really is Mike. Are you the district record holder now, Mike?
I hold over 1,200 hours of learning from the Rotary International. And I think the closest district member to me is 343.
So Mike,
hey, look, what are you going to do when you're in recovery, right? You know?
Hey, Mike, so I'll share. So we had to do our Mike, I'll share. So we had to do our governor's training, a lot of the modules during COVID during the Learning Center, but they did an update. So my 3,000 hours did not carry over when they did the version, but I commend you on doing. I commend you on all the things. The Learning Center is a great resource. There's, like Patty mentioned, there's tools on there for professional development, and just, you know, things from being a member. And, you know, this orientation is great. And I would just share with everybody, after 15 years of being in Rotary, I'm still a sponge and still learning things every day, because there's just so much. So, you know, for the new members, don't be overwhelmed. Ask. I'm sure Patty and team will continue doing these. And, you know, everybody will have different areas of focus, but there's so much that we do, and you just follow whatever your passions are. But one of the great tools in there, too, is a lot of folks have heard about Toastmasters. And several years ago, Rotary did an agreement with Toastmasters where we had the whole Toastmasters program in the Learning Center that was geared for our Rotaractors, our youth in the college years, to give them access to help them with their speaking and engagement on it. So there's a ton of stuff that's in there. Thank you.
absolutely, absolutely. So what I did was I was in the learning section, and I went all the way down to the bottom, and you notice it's forcing me to sign in now. This is one of the benefits of your membership. We've had people ask exactly what am I getting for the $3.75 a week. So this is one of the great benefits. And sometimes it's going to do this, guys. It's going to kick you out. You just go back in there again to Learning Center. That's right. Fine. Just go back in again. This time it'll get a little more stuff in the cache. It'll do a little bit better. But I like the leadership certificates, and a lot of folks are looking to add certificates to their LinkedIn profile, to their curriculum vitae, to their resume. This is one of the greatest benefits that you have. I call it Rotary University, okay? But one of your greatest benefits is to come in here and do all the certificates. And look at the course catalog here. I told you it was vast. It's in like 11 languages, hundreds and hundreds of certificates. If you have questions, how do things work? What am I supposed to do? How is this role handled? Where is the sheet, topic, training, and everything on how to do this particular job for the committee? It's all here, guys. It's all here, okay? This is my favorite professional development. And yeah, when you tell your boss, like, I just graduated from Rotary, the DEI Academy, and I got my certificate, it's one of the things the DEI director for scouting in our district, okay, for Piedmont Council. My wife and I just got certified, 57 million members in scouting to teach DEI. He asked, like, well, what do you two know about DEI? So I mentioned I just graduated the Rotary Institute on DEI, but look at all the classes you can take and earn a certificate. And this is what Nika was just saying, Toastmasters International, it's right there. When you go in there, it's going to tell you how much time it's going to take with a learning plan, how many courses are in there. You'll enroll, you'll do it. This one's 1 hour, 45 minutes, right, Patty, with the learning plan structure.
And it also saves your space. If you don't have to worry, like if you leave, let's say it's a 3-hour course and you don't have 3 hours to sit there, you can go back. It does save where you were, which is the.
That's right. Here's a good one for me, microaggression. At least I can laugh into my own face about myself. That's pretty healthy.
That is healthy.
But so many classes in here, guys. People are asking, what exactly am I getting for the full $3.75? First of all, the biggest thing is you're contributing. That money goes to the insurance policy to cover every event in the district. It's going back to Rotary International, which is doing that $160 million a year in grants. You are helping the earth. These are some of the biggest reasons of service above self of what you're doing with your $3.75. But Patty, do you have anything else here about the Learning Center?
No, the Learning Center is excellent. I do want to add that while I was in one of the courses, the links were so wonderful. They're so resourceful that after I was able to paste and copy them. So it allows you to paste and copy. And I was able to create my own private library of great links. Resources, it just made my life so easy to know, like, oh wow, now I could go right there to get help on something or need a resource to share for another community, another person, another business partner. The resources are amazing. Keep.
So, Patty, in summary today, I would just ask the old salts out there if we're forgetting anything for orientation. We're supposed to spend, like half an hour, 45 minutes with a new member to explain Rotary, our overview history, the different ways to get involved through our clubs, Interact clubs, Rotaract clubs, regular clubs, our causes, what the 7 causes are. The summation of our main programs from ending polio to the Peace Fellowship, the grants, of course, the scholarships, our magazines that we offer digitally and, shipped to your home and social media, as well as then, of course, very important, the Learning Center to earn certificates. Anything for the old salts besides the convention that you guys think we're forgetting?
I think also we want to highlight the fact, Marty, I also think we want to highlight the fact that it's speaking opportunities for people who want to do public speaking or are looking to grow in that area. Again, even if it's in a small office setting and you want to practice, it does give you that opportunity as well. Back to you, Marty.
Yeah, absolutely. The old salts, anything you guys would have mentioned if you were doing the orientation?
Okay, I'll weigh in on the old salt, okay? On the old salt, maybe you guys heard it at the convention. Aren't we ramping up like a mentor program also? Rotary's ramping up a mentor. In other words, when a mentor program, like a 6-month mentor program. I didn't see that on the list here. I'm just asking that. From the Learning Center.
So Dr. Mike, that's at the club level too. So, great job with orientation. At the end of the day, Rotary is all about a bunch of good people doing good things. It takes time. And for the newer members, I definitely encourage to reach out to Dr. Mike and Patty, Marty, and myself. Ask questions. We're here to help. Like I said, after 15 years, I'm still learning things. And I consider myself a Rotary geek, especially being the governor on all the training stuff that we had to get up to date with. But I'm amazed every single day by the good work that our members are doing worldwide. So, it's a whole process. So don't feel like, hey, I need to know everything. But, we are 117 years of doing good globally. So again, welcome and, take advantage of the Learning Center and get involved in the communities and around the world.
That's right. And you global impact members are eligible to go to any event anywhere you live for any reason. We want you out there in Bangladesh, across Dhaka, attending tree planting events, banquets, luncheons, school backpack events. We want you to go out in Sri Lanka and to join up there and go to events anywhere, anytime, for any reason. That's your right to do that. I'm going to stop sharing this if it's okay with you, Patty. Is that okay?
Well, I think we covered the Rotary International end real well. I don't know if you want to now circle back to our website, highlight what we're doing in a little bit.
You know what? I think for
VR.
brevity of time, we better kill it because it's 12:25.
Yep.
And I think that's a real good overview of what Rotary is for orientation. This has all been recorded. So this is going to go onto the website and be available forever. President-elect, would you like to lead us out with your parting thoughts?
Well, I just put it there. It's really awesome, and I realize now what I don't know. That's quite awesome as well. That means I'm going to have to read the website much more. And what I'm thinking about is this a wonderful connectivity across the world. I think that, when we look at the 7 focus areas and you look at the history and what I saw Jennifer Jones talking about, I was very, very impressed. And I want to thank Nico especially for looking after me at the convention. It was a bit awesome having 11,000 people there. It's kind of quite difficult to find your way around, but I was very inspired by all of it. And what I'm looking at now is how can I match my passion for authentic harmony and for making sure that we eliminate violence in the world. So that's my passion, is that where the G100 is taking me to, and the Rotary, is to really understand how we can create harmony and love between people so that nobody is violently abused. I mean, it's just really sad, the stories that I'm hearing, and it's not just Africa or India or undeveloped countries, it's happening in our own countries. So we need to stop this. It's unacceptable. Physical violence, word abuse, anything that strikes to the heart of people. So I'm very elated today, and I'm kind of overwhelmed as well. So yeah. I think I need your help.
What was the comment from somebody Friday night about the private suite party in Houston where you and Nico were swinging back and forth on a chandelier?
Oh,
what was?
we had some fun. It was really inspiring what was going on the stage. And one of the things I really got from the whole thing was that Rotary has changed in the last few years. Is that right, Nico? I get the sense that there's a renewed energy of expansion. And I hope that's because women are around, and that not just Jennifer Jones, but everybody is much more love-oriented and enthusiastic. And people are getting to understand what actually diversity and inclusion means. And it's actually core. It's about valuing yourself, valuing each other, and valuing the community that you're in. So I really appreciate this community. Sitting here in Las Vegas and going soon to visit my family who I haven't seen for a year. And all of that is really important. So I want to thank you guys. I think we've got a fantastic opportunity to educate the world. And that's my mission, is to educate girls and boys to actually build a better world with us oldies.
Well, thank you so much, Pauline. Actually, people commented how nice you were, and we took care of her, and we took her all around. And so, yeah, there was very, very, very nice comments from everybody about you. And thank you so much. You guys have a great day. Anybody coming into the virtual reality event, see you at 1 o'clock. From Phoenix Group and from the brave ladies and gentlemen of Ukraine. I know that you guys have honestly offered to help a lot, and we're going to be giving you 100 of the citizen aid medical kits this week. But we're really working hard, and I know we're working on another 10 ambulances with Marius now.
Спасибо вам, ребята.
We are trying to provide food, medical equipment, military equipment to help. We are working directly with medical centers, with kids' houses.
Спасибо.
Берегите себя.
Слава Україні!
Героям слава! Україна! Понад усе!
Well, there you have it, Mike. Thank you so much for your participation and help.
Thank you, my brother. That was good.
Have a good one.
Good.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us today for another broadcast of Rotary Global Impact. We will be back soon and catch you in 2 weeks for our next meeting.